Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle? Wario versus King Dedede. Of course, make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So yes, Wario from Mario and King Dedede from Kirby. We have these two villainous kinds of anti-heroes. You know, they have a rich backstory, we'll say, going up against each other in a fight to the death. So I am aware of these characters, like I know who Wario is, and I know who King Dedede is, but obviously I don't know everything, and so I certainly can't say, or at least won't say, that I know enough for the sake of a death battle, you know? So I just want people to know that, yes, I am aware of who these characters are. Do I know everything about them? Absolutely not. Have I played all games that they've appeared in? Absolutely not. Etc. Just because, you know, oftentimes I don't know characters like at all, you know, maybe I've heard their name kind of thing, but, you know, not always. But this time, like, I know these characters, I have played games with them, I do like them, or, you know, at least to some extent. Wario's kind of gross, but yeah. So I don't feel that I can justly say, like, who would win at this point in time. I'm going to need to rely on the analyses portions and hope that they give me some good, you know, material for my brain to work with, where I can come up with a good result. Because, like, I know that Mario has survived a ton and is very strong, and I know that Kirby has survived a ton and is very strong, and, you know, Wario and Dedede have gone up against them, or at least exist within the same universe, and so, like, I guess if I had to say something, right now I'm inclined to say that Dedede would win because I think that he has had more close kind of one-on-one interactions in a very combative sense with Kirby. Whereas Mario and Wario, I just feel not as much, but I don't know. I don't want to say anything for sure yet. That's just if I had to give some sort of thought right now, it would be that. But I am going to wait until the analysis portion, so with that, let's get to watching. And play.
This Mother's Day, for a limited time only, 23andMe is taking $30 off their health and ancestry kit until May 13th. It's a fantastic gift to celebrate what makes mom special through personalized genetic insights on health, traits, and more. It's really simple to use. I used the kit myself and discovered a lot of really interesting facts. So this Mother's Day, get $30 off the 23andMe
you
Health
guys
and
could do
Ancestry
that
Kit
for
by going to
Mother's Day,
23andme.com/deathbattle.
which is probably coming up
That's
soon.
the number 23andme.com/deathbattle. Again,
I don't know
that's
when Mother's Day is off the top of my head, but Google would know. You could find out through Google. Anyway, here we have Death Battle. Wario versus Dedede. And you guys take it away when you're ready.
It's a lesson every hero has to learn someday.
What?
Just because your enemy is a little on the chubby side doesn't mean he's a pushover.
Oh, right, yeah.
Talking about me?
I'm talking about Wario, the greedy and repulsive rival to Mario.
And King Dedede, the royal nemesis to everybody's favorite
right.
pink puffball, Kirby.
So I'm rooting for
He's
Dedede
whiz
in
and
this.
I'm
I could say that, because I
And it's
at
our
least
job to
like him
analyze
as a
their weapons,
character.
armor, and skills
And again,
to
Wario
find
I
out
just
who
find
will
kind of
win
gross and
a
obnoxious.
death battle.
So, yeah. Not to say like WarioWare in those
Wario's a
games
pretty
aren't
busy
fun
guy.
or anything
If
like
he's
that.
not
Just
saving
him
his
as a
favorite
character.
Lady,
Don't
Princess
love him.
Peach, he's off saving a whole different princess in a whole different land.
Huh.
Until he returned home one day to find his castle under someone else's control.
First off, Mario
he have a
has
giant head?
castle? Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know
It had
that
been
either.
taken by a chubby squatter dressed in yellow named Wario.
Right.
Wario is Mario's opposite in every way. While Mario is kind and heroic, Wario is selfish and mischievous.
Yes, that's
While
true.
Mario is thick with one C, Wario has two, maybe three C's.
Ah.
That's not. His name and symbol are even inspired by the Japanese word for bad.
Yeah,
Waluigi.
Waluigi.
You can't get any less subtle than Wario.
No kidding.
I think
But he's
Waluigi
not
is
some random chump.
even
Turns
less
out
subtle.
Wario is one of the 7 star children, possessing legendary power, and even grew up with Mario.
Oh.
Wario's grudge against Mario goes way back. While they were children, they played cops and robbers a total of 1,256 times.
Oh.
And despite frequently asking otherwise, Wario only got to be the cop once.
Wow, dick move, baby Mario.
That is a
Yoshi
dick move,
should've just
honestly.
left you behind in that stupid crying bubble.
Whether or not he was accidentally conditioned into villainy, Wario has two main goals. Ruin Mario's life, and get as rich as possible through any means necessary.
Yeah.
Including crime, treasure hunting, and even making video games.
He's got the power to rival Mario, too. He's super strong and can bash through tons of rock and heavy metal with his shoulder bash attack. If that's not enough,
That's true.
he'll literally chew his opponents up.
Also
Ugh,
true.
Just imagine those giant white bricks he calls teeth just closing around you.
I
He's
don't
also
want to
weirdly
imagine that.
malleable. capable of being crushed, squished, twisted, and stretched with little to no ill effect.
Oh.
However,
Don't
Wario's
remember that.
deadliest natural ability is definitely his inexplicable farting.
Whiz, that's no simple toot. This is the fabled flatulence of folklore itself.
Uh-huh.
The atomic vapors of annihilation. The waft.
Kind of a lame name after all that.
The waft is a highly specialized technique which discharges an enormous burst of toxic gas so brutal it'll topple nearly any foe. When aimed correctly, this blast can even propel Wario through the air like a rocket while crop dusting anyone beneath his feet.
It's like when your power's
It's,
farting and
technically
eating
speaking,
people
just
or
majestic.
anything, like...
Right. Well, that's not exactly wrong. In some cases, Wario's waft has even been shown to be comparable to nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
By the way, I spent some time in your lab
Don't.
and I
Don't.
made a new invention.
How did you get into my lab?
Oh, nice try. After decades of research, I've discovered how to contain the pure essence of flatulence. Behold, the windbreaker.
That's nice. Let's move on.
Listen, Wiz, I'm really proud of this.
Oh,
She speaks.
it worked.
Anyway,
Okay, good
aside
job,
from his own
Boomstick.
abilities, Wario has access to numerous weapons and power-ups.
Like his one-of-a-kind chopper. Also, explosives.
Kind of redundant when he can fart a nuke.
There's always room for explosions, Wiz. Check out this huge blast some of his bombs caused, which he was totally at the center of and survived, by the way.
His power-ups
true.
include a jetpack, a metal body, and even Mario's own invincibility star. He can increase his size by plugging an air pump into himself and... just don't question it. With
Really?
the dragon hat, he spews fire. With the eagle statue, he takes flight. And he can even combine both of these to become King Dragon Wario,
Wow.
utilizing both these abilities while dramatically increasing his power and his weight.
Didn't know any of
And with
those things
just a
were
little
things.
mouthful of rotten garlic, he dons pink tights to become Wario Man. This super form increases his strength and lets him fly, because he doesn't have enough ways to do that already, I guess.
He doesn't always need some random object of power to transform. Some of Wario's forms come about because of entirely reactionary means.
He
Oh?
can become Bouncy Wario after being crushed into paper, Flaming Wario after being set on fire, Puffy Wario after getting stung by bees, and Fat Wario after eating too much.
Isn't the Flaming
Yeah,
Wario just
getting
him
fat's a superpower.
running because he's
These
on
sound
fire?
more like excuses than power-ups.
He even becomes Crazy Wario after getting drunk. Though it's just a ball in the American version, because, you know, for kids and stuff. But anyway, I'm powering up. Jocelyn, order another 1,000 six-packs.
On his quest
He's just
to humiliate
justifying it
his
at this point.
red-clad rival and accumulate Scrooge McDuck levels of riches, Wario has been through thick and thin.
Like Mario, he survived that big explosion in the tennis court, which we figured out is equal to 2.4 megatons of TNT.
Right.
But Wario's also survived the Shake King blowing up in his face.
The Shake King was a pirate with immense electrical power.
Okay.
Upon his defeat, his body detonated, and the resulting blast split the sky. By comparing the blast and the parting clouds to a map of the Shake dimension, we determined the explosion's exact energy output to be equivalent to about 96 sextillion tons of TNT.
Oh.
That's enough juice to blow up a large moon, and Wario was totally fine.
He
Huh.
can seemingly eat anything, including explosives and his own bike. He can, of course, keep up with Mario, who kicked a 61 million ton castle and piloted the Star Diver at Mach 375.
Right.
Also, Wario destroyed the Black Jewel, an entity whose death triggered the collapse of an entire dimension.
So, does everyone he fights blow up when they die, or what?
Well, just to
Mario
say his
may
death
best
triggered
him
something
time
doesn't
and
mean
time
that he was
again,
capable of those
particularly
powers. What
thanks
is he able to
Wario's
do?
really low intelligence.
The gem
But
thing.
his tenacity and willingness to never give up is strangely admirable.
This greedy bastard will never stop doing what he loves.
Now time for Dedede, everybody. I hope that this makes it more clear,
The
because
country of
Wario has a lot
Dreamland
more than I
is a
thought.
peaceful paradise.
Filled with some of the most adorable critters you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little waddle-dees waddle.
But wouldn't you know it, all this pristine prosperity is actually run by a tyrannical, self-imposed monarch, King Dedede.
Ah, yes, the classic dictator at work. They show you what they want you to see, but really, there's so much horror behind the scenes.
I suppose he did intentionally create a food shortage once, but Dedede doesn't really have that much sway over his questionably claimed kingdom, namely because of one plucky pink hero.
Is that Kirby? Ah, I was
Everyone's
right.
favorite lovable marshmallow. Suck it, Jigglypuff. Yeah, this little guy's always been there to ruin the Triple D's schemes.
Schemes which, to be fair, aren't always evil. Like
Yeah.
the time he stole the Star Rod, seemingly for nefarious purposes, but in actuality to protect his citizens from the villainous nightmare.
Yeah, it turns out this big bad penguin's mean side doesn't come from a place of true evil at all. Instead, it's because he's just really jealous of Kirby.
Right, before Kirby arrived, Dedede was a tubby bird with only a modicum of respect. After seeing Kirby's popularity and success, the king made up his mind. He would surpass the marshmallow.
Yeah.
Hear the 70s music. It's time for a training montage. Through countless hours of intense work and grueling training, Dedede pushed himself to mimic Kirby's abilities and more.
Oh.
His speed improved, his strength skyrocketed, and in time, he even learned what all penguins hope to achieve one day. By inhaling a bunch of air, he can puff his body up like a balloon and fly.
Oh
To
yeah.
be clear, this is not a naturally occurring ability of his. He somehow trained himself to do this.
Wow.
This is backed up by no science whatsoever and makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
You shut
But
up
I'm
and let
happy
the
for
penguin
him.
fly. And that's not the only Kirby trick he copied. His lungs are so strong now, he can inhale entire enemies and launch them at high speeds. He can even fire powerful air bullets that can break solid rock. You know, I've been training my air bullet technique too.
Have you now?
You? Boomstick, that's impossible. The human lungs don't have the capacity to.
I got you. But he's got way more up his sleeves than just stolen skills.
Absolutely. Sure, he's got an army of minions at his command, but
Yeah.
when he wants to take someone down personally, Dedede jumps into the ring with one of his giant-sized hammers.
He's got a bunch to pick from. His usual favorite might look like an oversized wooden mallet, but it can summon freezing ice as he swings it, and secretly features a built-in jet booster to supercharge his striking power.
Right.
Oh, you scared? Here I come! Here I come! Yeah, boom, bitch! While his move is garbage and smash, it feels really good when you pull it off.
Through the power of the Star Rod, he can amplify this into the Star Hammer.
Okay.
With this magic coursing through it, Dedede can cast several spells. He can increase his size, launch energy spheres, break the fourth wall, and mystically create up to 64 duplicates of himself.
Oh.
Just more penguin goodness to go around. But when the Big D wants to get hardcore, he dons a mask and whips out his ultimate weapon, the electric hammer.
Ah.
Introducing the mysterious masked Dedede.
Yeah, it's not much of a disguise.
No.
But the electric
But I
hammer
like how
is
it
a
looks.
definite upgrade over his jet hammer.
Hell yeah, it's way stronger, can blast electricity, and has a flamethrower. Oh, and also a multi-barreled rocket launcher. Gun sword? Not good enough. Sniper sights? Forget it. Give me a rocket launcher hammer any day of the week.
And remember that army of minions I mentioned before? Well, Dedede has a weird habit of actually carrying some of them around with him.
Oh.
Like, I guess, in his pocket?
If the rockets aren't enough, he
Sure.
can pull out this spiky sea urchin called a Gordo that's heavy enough to send almost anyone flying. The Gordo's one of his greatest tools, but it can also be a real pain in the ass.
Interesting that he's so jealous of Kirby's abilities despite having quite a noteworthy arsenal of his own. Thankfully, he has become much less antagonistic over the years, even directly aiding Kirby in protecting Dreamland from time to time.
That's good.
And while he's not the sharpest bird in the box, he isn't all fluff. He can inhale and spit Kirby out with enough force to break through the planet Popstar's atmosphere.
Which means Dedede can spit objects up to 33 times the speed of sound. That's disgusting.
But that's nothing when you think about how he can match Kirby in sheer strength. This little guy can hit so hard, he destroyed a whole planet. God, calm down, Kirb. Why are you wrecking the place
And he can
where you
match
live?
him in strength with
Planet
that?
Popstar is shown to be similar in size to the planet Shiverstar, which
Like,
strongly
just by
resembles
default?
a frozen over Earth. To destroy an Earth-sized planet like this, Kirby must have been striking with a force of over 1,900 septillion tons of TNT.
Damn! Who would have thought this adorable pink puffball could pull that off? And get this! Apparently he's only 8 inches tall! He's a planet buster.
Yeah,
that fits
okay,
in the
but
palm
can
of your
Dedede do
hand.
that
He's shown
whenever?
even greater feats too. And while Dedede isn't necessarily taking this sort of damage every time Kirby lands a punch, he does fight on equal footing with him.
Who keeps making these cute and cuddly characters so freaking deadly?
On a similar note, Dedede is also comparable to Meta Knight, who once casually flew from one end of the galaxy to the other in seconds. Now, Dedede's never done such a crazy speed feat like that himself, but keeping up with Meta Knight in fights and dodging a meteor around 160,000 miles per hour certainly proves he's faster than you probably think.
Okay.
When he fought the alien Magellan, who ripped apart a dimension with a weird star-shaped black hole, which Dedede survived. This penguin's gotta be doing some kind of performance-enhancing drugs. Oh, Jesus!
Though he still holds a massive grudge,
That's
King
a fun
Dedede
game.
has proved his ability countless times, to the detriment, but often benefit, of Dreamland. Perhaps he's earned the title of king after all.
Well, he definitely thinks so.
There's only one bona fide ruler. of
Dang it,
every
we're already
town,
done.
and that's
Let's
me,
open for more.
King Dedede.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, honestly. But
All
I
right,
imagine
the
they're gonna have a
combats are
commercial
set, and
first,
we've run the data
so
through
we're
all
going to skip
possibilities.
that,
But
and
first,
then we'll go
I
into
need
my
to inhale
predictions.
some
So
food.
see you soon. It's time for a death battle and pause. All right, so prediction time. Here's what I'm thinking. I think right now that Dedede is going to win. I was thinking for the majority of that, even the majority of Dedede segment, that Wario was going to win. But at the end, they did say that Dedede, like, matched Kirby in terms of strength. You know? Like, it wasn't that I had to make guesses at that point. It wasn't that I had to be, okay, well, could Dedede have done comparable stuff? No, they specifically said that Dedede, like, matched Kirby in strength. Right? And so, to me, that means that he's very, very powerful. I was hoping that they would be a little bit more specific about it. You heard me asking, like, is it a default thing where he always matches Kirby in strength, or was it like his ultimate move matched Kirby in strength, or that kind of thing? But I just have to assume at this point that he can just match Kirby in strength, period. You know, like, just like that. That's what I'm hoping for. As far as Wario, though, I know that he has amazing durability, you know, being able to withstand some sextillion, right? Some sextillion tons of TNT, like, to the face. But, I don't know how strong Wario himself actually is. I can't remember if they really gave us feats for that. The only feat that I remember, honestly, for Wario's strength was that he was able to, like, bash through multiple layers of rock and other stuff with his shoulder bash. And that's strong, but it's not shattering a planet strong. You know, that's the thing for me, is like, we have Dedede apparently able to match that planet-busting strength, and we have Wario who can withstand a lot, but I can't remember how powerful he himself actually was said to be. So since I can't remember, I unfortunately just have to go with the fact that, or the thought that might be a fact, that Dedede is stronger than Wario. Now, as far as that survivability, I feel like I remember Wario saying against whatever the dude, the lightning or electric dude who blew up, you know? I thought that was some amount of sextillion tons. And then Dedede, you know, to be a planet buster, supposedly could output some septillion tons, you know? Septillion is higher than sextillion. And so, I have to imagine that Dedede, like, his strength can surpass the strongest that Wario is said to have survived. Now, as far as speed goes, I feel like Wario probably has that advantage, at least as far as travel time is concerned. But as far as in combat is concerned, maybe Dedede has that advantage. If he's able to keep up with Meta Knight, who, you know, we're not sure has amazing fighting speed or whatever, but at least we have something we can look at where we can maybe say, hey, he was able to do that, he should at least be able to keep up with Wario as far as, like, in combat fighting goes. Again, travel time, maybe not, because, you know, Wario can go like Super Wario and fly around and everything. But yeah. So it just seems like with Dedede fighting Kirby and able to withstand those blows of, again, potentially world-shattering, you know, effect or whatever, then he should be able to survive what Wario can dish out. Okay, I know with Wario's strength we can cover, like, the farts that were, like, atomic bombs, but he can't do that constantly. It's not the same as, you know, what he's going to be doing during most of combat, and I think that if, you know, Dedede could survive a planet-busting attack, he could survive a bomb. That kind of thing. So, all in all, with what was revealed at the end of Dedede's segment, I feel like he's going to win. It seems like he's stronger. It seems like he's more durable. I would say that Wario is probably more versatile, all in all. They both have, like, some different forms but Wario seemed to have more and that he could access them more easily. But I still think that Dedede's strength, durability, and honestly intelligence, I feel, will render him the victor. I could well be wrong, of course, as with every death battle, but that's where I'm led to think right now. So Dedede is going to win this one and play. I hope so, because again, I've been rooting for him from the start. I just like him a lot better than Wario. So wait, he already has the mask? Is that just for effect, or... Cage match, okay. I don't think the cage is gonna last. Or is he starting with his hammer, like the big one? Yay. He is starting with the big one. So they're not counting that as an upgrade then, they're just saying this is his, like, best base equipment. I mean, I guess he's starting as Super Wario too. Interesting, usually they just build up to those. You know, I gotta say, I feel like this is one of those places where a fight would actually be natural in the environment. You know, to start the battle off. Like, fight! That kind of thing. Oh no! So does he go into his fire mode? Seems he does. Oh no! Did you break your mask by falling on it? To make it even because he lost his super suit. How dare he! What a dick! That was good timing for that motorcycle outside. Also a dick move, to be fair. They didn't know? Oh jeez, okay. This battle is so bizarre. It is entertaining though. Springy. Is Wario not in pain though still when that happens? When he's squished? No, don't fart, please. How are you not able to spit him out in time, Dedede? How could you not do that? It's not how that should work. Come on, rocket the hammer! Like, why did Wario just jump onto the ground like that? I don't know. Quickly, clog his butthole! He did. He did do that thing. Look at that smug son of a gun. Alrighty!
I told you those Gordos can be a pain in the ass. Wario sure had the upper hand when it came to versatility, especially with his reactionary power-up and totally unexpected techniques.
Yeah?
Like, Who would ever predict your opponent would drop an atomic fart in your mouth?
I didn't like that.
Genius.
Gross.
It's gross. Yeah,
But
it is.
ultimately, Dedede still had plenty of counter options to use. For example, his hammer's ice properties could halt Wario's many fire attacks.
And unlike Wario, Dedede's flight didn't require any specific power-ups to control the air.
Right.
Unfortunately, neither Wario nor Dedede have truly shown their greatest potential speed. Compared to the likes of Mario and Meta Knight, it seems Dedede held the advantage, though admittedly it's impossible to know the exact specifics of that advantage.
That's fair,
Yeah,
yeah.
but given how tough these guys were, speed wasn't the biggest factor anyway. What we really had to know was how likely they could even hurt each other. I mean, they've been through some pretty nasty stuff.
Right.
But guess what? Wario surviving the Shake King exploding doesn't stack up to Dedede getting sucked into a black hole.
By examining the event horizon of Magolor's singularity, we can estimate a range of the black hole's destructive potential. Even the lowest possible option comes out to nearly 86 octillion tons of TNT. That is
octillion.
over 5 times more powerful than the detonating Shake King. And again, that's the lowest option. The black hole's destructive potential is likely even higher than that.
So Wario had a hard time landing any meaningful
did Waddle Dee
damage
survive
because
that
the
too
big
then? 'Cause
bird
he was there in that
just too
scene.
Tough. But if Dedede's anywhere as strong as Kirby is, and he should be given that they fight all the time, then he was making hits that were somewhere close to Earth-sized planet-breaking level.
Yeah.
Definitely getting the edge over Wario's durability.
Hey, there we go.
Wario's versatility and tenacity made this an incredibly close bout, but Dedede's strength, durability, and speed were just enough to take the victory.
He really took the penguin.
The
I get
winner
it.
Is King Dedede.
Yay, claps for Dedede! Yay!
Hey, thanks
I
for
got it
watching this
right.
episode. If you want the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link below.
And if you want some more Death Battle, make sure to check out Captain Marvel vs. Shazam over there.
It's not there, but yeah, next time on Death Battle, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern. Oh, okay. Nice. For the record, while I clearly knew both of their names, I've never watched Ben 10, and I've really never seen anything about Green Lantern. I saw the old Green Lantern movie with Reynolds, right? The one everyone hates, so that's really all I don't know a whole lot, okay? That's what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, so that's all I can really say about that death battle. So about this death battle, yay, I was right again. So, I mean, I agree with their conclusion. That's all, you know, a lot of the stuff was the stuff that I talked about, you know, with Dedede's strength surpassing Wario's durability and all that. Now I did completely forget about that black hole thing while I was going through my prediction. So that wasn't what factored into Dedede's durability for me. It was just the fact that he was able to fight on even ground with Kirby. And so, you know, maybe I was flawed in that. Like, maybe that wasn't enough to say that Dedede was more durable than Wario. But hey, maybe I got lucky then in that case. As far as the fight itself is concerned, I did enjoy it. I think that it was I mean, the way that I said that makes it sound like I'm gonna say something bad. I'm gonna critique it, I suppose, but all in all, I thought it was positive, so keep that in mind as I talk, I guess. But yeah, I liked it. I thought the animation was really good and smooth, and I thought that it had a lot of variety to it. You know, I thought that it did a good job of showing off the characters' different abilities and stuff. I thought that it did a good job of showing off the characters' personalities, at least to an extent where I could distinguish them and appreciate them or not for who they were, kind of thing. And I think that it had good pacing all in all. It was a little different than other, you know, death battles I would have expected, just like I talked about how they started off with different powers, you know, like Wario was already Super Wario and Dedede already had his mask, so it was weird that they didn't start from their base and then like move up from there. Threw me off a little bit, but not in a bad way necessarily. Like, it fit within the story that they were presenting within the animation, and then they were able to build from there. Like, they started off with the powers, then they lost the powers, and then they had to, you know, figure out quickly what they were going to do next in order to defeat their combatant. So I thought that worked out pretty well, all things considered. I think that Wario is still gross and obnoxious. Like, that's not my kind of humor. I don't think that butts and farts and stuff are inherently funny. You know, like, I don't really understand a lot of that gross out humor. That's just not my thing. So while a lot of people surely love Wario, it's just not my cup of tea, really, you know? Like, it just wasn't my thing, as I said. So I was definitely rooting for Dedede the entire time, especially when Wario just got, like, increasingly gross. I was gonna be upset if the fart in the mouth killed Dedede. You know, like, one, for durability reasons, but two, also, is just like, really, are you gonna say that is what would happen most of the time these two would fight. The Wario would fart in Dedede's mouth and kill him. Like, that's gross, that's not likely, etc. So I'm really glad it didn't end there and it kept going, but just the thought alone is disgusting and I don't like it. Going back to the analyses, I think they did a fine job with that. You know, I felt I learned enough at least to determine, even if by lucky means, who the victor would be between these two. Was it particularly, like, the best analyses I've ever seen? No, but, like, it never is, I suppose. You know, I don't know what I'm expecting going into the analyses. I'm never, like, disappointed. I'm just never super pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? I guess I'm always just waiting for something to pop out as like, oh, this is the best analysis ever. But, you know, when is that going to happen? I enjoy the analyses. I do think there has been a little bit of a shift in humor, or at least I feel there's sort of a loss of potential, because before they had the animated Whiz and Boomstick, they of course, they had no visual representation, unless they just wanted to pull in a random clip as Whiz and Boomstick were talking. But now they do have the animations, and so I feel like they're moving into, they don't have to, but they've moved away from a certain brand of comedy that they had before. You know, before it used to be like really heavily reliant on plays on words and, you know, comedic timing and things like that. And obviously, comedic timing is still important, it always is. But now they could do a lot more with showing things. And while that can it opens up many different avenues of comedy, but not all of them are my favorite, you know? Like, now it's opened up a lot more possibilities for slapstick humor, which just not my favorite kind of humor. And so, a little bit disappointing in that regard, just like all in Death Battle. But like, I still do find those moments funny, but you know, like, I feel like, just trying to give an example, you know, I could go back to the "that man" joke that I think was one of, like, the best jokes that Death Battle has ever had, you know? And that was just really a play on the who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third joke, right? But I thought that it was just put together so well, and the timing of it and all of that, that, like, I will constantly go, I mean, how many years ago was it now that I saw that Death Battle, right? And I'm still referencing it. Meanwhile, when am I gonna be like, remember that time that Boomstick had a water balloon, except instead of water, it was filled with the essence of farts? Like, when am I ever gonna talk about that? As like, I'm never gonna bring that up! I don't know, that's just how I feel right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but just trying to express my thoughts on analyses portions, now that they have changed now that they've introduced this animation aspect of having Woods and Boomstick as actual characters on screen. But before I end this, because I do think I've pretty much said all that I have to say about this Death Battle episode, to go back to the animation portion, the actual fight really quickly, I'm really glad that they had a story, and honestly, it was pretty impressive, all things considered. Now, it's no, like, Sam versus Snake, you know, like, I think that had a really solid story, and maybe if I went back and watched that now, I wouldn't think so, but from what I remember, it had a really solid story that I really appreciated, and I wish that more Death Battles were like that. But this one really did have a story. Like, I was a little skeptical at first. Like, they put them in a ring, and it was basically just like, these two are gonna fight, and there are people surrounding them, and who knows how they got there or why they're fighting, but they're fighting. But, like, at least had a setting that was cohesive, and, like, there was a reason for them to be there, supposedly, so I was fine with it. But then, you know, once they lost their mask, or their super suit, in Wario's case, I guess, like, the two recognized each other, and it showed the little flashbacks that they each had, and I really appreciated that much. Like, it still didn't explain why Dedede and Wario were in the ring fighting each other at that point in time, since apparently they didn't know who the other person was, I guess. But it did at least show, like, why they continued to fight to the death at that point. Because they recognized each other, and they had a grudge against each other, and so they were going all out. Like, I really appreciated that flashback. Without the flashback, the animation, the fight itself, I think would be, you know, considerably worse in my mind. Not bad, but considerably worse. So I do think, you know, fairly highly of it at this point in time, because they took the care, they had that attention given to it, and I really appreciated that. So, yeah. Anything else I want to say? Nothing's coming to mind, so let me know what you thought about this Death Battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth, and let me know what you think of this next time. Again, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern, I know of them, I really don't know them, so Let me know what you guys think, and with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!